That fit with the scenic quality of the region, 46, also not surprising given the conversations we've had in the regions. Thank you. And next, looking at the completion of Corridor K. Everyone know the Corridor K. You're at least marginally familiar with the concern over exactly what route is best for to complete the Appalachian Development Highway system in our region. Looking at the completion of that Corridor K, which is most important? Do we vigorously pursue the 4-lane as proposed by the current NC DOT proposal, even if complete funding is uncertain? That's number one. Number two, seeking solutions that can be achieved with available funding, even if that means forgoing the 4-lane. Three, minimizing environmental impacts, even if that means forgoing the proposed 4-lane. These are really the toughest ones. We saved some of these for last, now that you're warmed up. So 1, 2, or 3, vote now. Okay. Vigorously pursue the 4-lane, 27%, seeking solutions that can be achieved with available funding, 30%, and 43% for minimizing environmental impacts. That may surprise some of you, but once again, this fits within the kinds of conversations and survey polling that we've done. And once again, all of this is integrated, all of the responses, including the ones tonight, are integrated into our final report of the draft regional vision. Next. How important is it for communities to prioritize walking, biking, and transit as an alternative to driving? This is the full range of transportation alternatives. 1, very important. 2, somewhat important. 3, important. 4, unimportant. 5, most important. So 1 through 5, vote now. Okay, 35% say important to expand the range. It's a good spread. Somewhat important is 18%, 12% for unimportant, 14% for most unimportant. Once again, it may surprise you that so many people are interested in expanded range that include walking and biking, as well as private automobiles. Okay, how important is it, this is the town center question, how important is it to create vibrant and prosperous town centers? Number 1, very important. 2, somewhat important. 3, important. 4, unimportant. 5, most unimportant. 1 through 5, vote now. Very, very strong results for the town centers. Almost everyone thinks at some level of importance for town centers, which is good news for all the people who are working so hard in the towns for redeveloping downtowns in the region. And once again, it fits with our research. Next. To create vibrant and prosperous town centers, given that huge turnout for that, which will work the best? 1, encouraging growth where there's already sufficient infrastructure. 2, expanding close-in housing choices. 3, supporting a mix of commercial and residential uses in towns. 4, facilitating housing near to where people work. 5, reusing existing properties as much as possible. All significant choices, but 1 through 5, pick one, now vote. Okay, supporting a mix of commercial and residential uses in town, very significant. Reusing existing properties as much as possible, and a strong for encouraging growth where there's already sufficient infrastructure. All right, next. All right, Sharon Taylor is the Deputy Director of the most successful, or what I think is the most successful nonprofit in the region. She'll tell you about how much they do work. LTLT stands for Little Tennessee, Land Trust for Little Tennessee, but she'll tell you it's getting beyond Little Tennessee. Sharon?
you. I know that you guys are in a hurry to get home, so I will keep my comments brief.
Really?
I love Western North Carolina. I love Western North Carolina because it has nurtured and provided for me and my family and my people for multiple generations. Because of that, it's just been my greatest honor to serve on this leadership council with all initiatives. It's my honor to stand here before you tonight. I think I was asked to join the leadership council because I work for LTLT, the Land Trust for Little Tennessee. And as Ben said, LTLT is a regional organization. We have a three-pronged mission to conserve land, restore water quality, and maybe most importantly, to connect people to their resources, to those natural resources. The Land Trust for Little Tennessee works in 6 of the 7 Region A counties. We work on everything west of the Balsam Mountains. So we understand the challenges that are associated with working across county boundaries. We understand that the demographics are different. Certainly there are different leadership styles, and I have certainly learned that on this leadership council. Sitting there with all the chairs of the Board of Commissioners, this has been fascinating for me. But we also see similar attitudes throughout our region, and particularly we see the attitude that was expressed by John Silver on the video that you saw earlier, the attitude of it's all about leaving a legacy. Don't we all want to leave a legacy? Well, certainly a lot of people that the Land Trust for Little Tennessee works for, LTLT works for, they've chosen to leave a legacy through their land. And a lot of those landowners have chosen to exercise a private property right that they have to permanently conserve their land. And we're proud to work with all the landowners we've worked with. We're probably most proud to work with the landowners who have working lands, be it farm or forest land. And some of the projects we worked on that has active farming includes Richfield Dairy in South Macon County, some of the best ice cream in the region, that is for sure. It also includes Richfield Farm in Cherokee County, home of Brasstown beef that's sold throughout the southeast. And it also includes farms like a small organic farm on Timmy Creek in Jackson County. That farmer sells produce to the local restaurants, and he also sells every Saturday morning in Jackson County fresh produce, and sometimes he has trout as well. All of those are important to the economy of this region, and all of them are important to leaving a legacy for those landowners. We're really proud to work with them. We also work with a lot of working forests, and our founding director, Paul Carlson, who's in the audience today, he is a registered forester, and Paul has worked closely with Dr. Peter Bates and foresters at Western Carolina University to implement and to educate, but particularly implement best management practices on some of these forest lands that are such an asset for this region, to ensure that in the future we will also, in addition to having sustainable timber harvest, we'll also have clean water quality and protected soils as these best management practices that are implemented on these lands, that they promote those things as well. We think that's quite a great legacy to leave behind too. The Land Trust for Little Tennessee, or LTLT, also has a focus on cultural lands, and that's led to a strong partnership with the Eastern Band of Cherokee and the Cherokee Preservation Foundation. We're really proud of that partnership. And that partnership has actually led to the conservation and the return of the historic Cowie Mound to Cherokee tribal ownership after almost 200 years. We're so proud of that. Most recently, we completed the Hall Mountain project. Hall Mountain is a prominent mountain overlooking Cowie Mound, and we completed that, and now it's in tribal ownership as well. And I say that to mention the partnerships. These projects weren't successful just because of the partnership with the tribe and LTLT. They're successful because of a broad range of partnerships. And LTLT has been successful over this region because of its broad partnerships. And that's what it's going to take for us to be successful in this region into the future, a broad partnership where we all come together and work together for the future of Western North Carolina. In closing, I'd like to just mention two of the policies in the vision that are really close to my heart, and they are: one, protect the region's scenic beauty and the unique ecosystems, And 2, celebrate the region's Appalachian and Native American heritage. Of course, these 2 policies really speak to my heart. They're my passion. That's what I do every day for my living. It's my passion. But isn't it truly the beauty of this area, the mountains in this area, and our clear, pristine river systems, and our deep and our rich cultural heritage? Those are the things that bring people to this area. Those are the things that attract people to this area. And as Dr. Morris said in the video, and I understand he's here, so I'm quoting him, he said that an area that attracts tourists also attracts the future employees who want to live and work and play in the area, and that it also attracts the future employees who want to locate in an area. We have it all here. We have it all, and we can keep it all too. We can continue to have a region that nurtures and provides for its people, but in order to do that, we have to come together. We have to come together as partners across our county boundaries and with the tribe to elevate all of us in this region. And in the end, if we do that, and I hope we do, that'll be a legacy that we are all leaving behind. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. Now some questions about the territory of the natural and cultural assets. How important is it to protect and enhance our natural and cultural resources? 1, very important. 2, somewhat important. 3, important. 4, unimportant. 5, most unimportant. Right. So 86% very important, and so 89% either very important or somewhat important. So we're very close to, that's an endorsement, Sharon, directly for your presentation. Thank you. To expand the protection of our natural resources, which of the following would work best? 1, creating incentives for property owners to join easements, restrictions, and similar programs. 2, regulating development in sensitive areas, for instance on slopes. 3, doing nothing, leaving things as they are. 1, 2, or 3, vote now. Okay, creating incentives.
Missing there.
A low mark, up or off the screen? Are we off the screen there?
I think so.
Are we off the screen? Is that? Okay, all right. We'll, this will be our secret vote. We will reveal it at a later date. We're going to get it, Jessica, or should we move on? Okay, we'll move on. If we can report that, we'll move it on. We'll do that. What should we do first to assure that arts, crafts, and music are more viable components of the regional economy? Do we expand and better integrate them into regional branding and marketing? That's number 1. Number 2, expand existing performing and cultural venues. Number 3, include arts and crafts in the regional brand. 4, provide incentive for artists to move to the region. 1 through 4, vote now. Okay. Expand and better integrate them to regional branding and marketing. Very strong for that, obviously, which will include, will definitely impress the TDA folks and Dr. Morris from Western Carolina. Next. What would contribute the most to improve the region's quality of life? And this is a tough question, a lot of discussion during our interviews and polling. Number 1, promote health and wellness. 2, build more health facilities. 3, improve education. 4, provide affordable housing. 1, 2, 3, or 4, vote now. Acknowledging the growing population in Western North Carolina. Promote health and wellness, very strong. Build more health facilities, 11%. Improve education, a real endorsement for education, good for the teachers. And Dr. Belcher, I know you're glad to see that. What keeps you in this region? 1, my business and work. 2, family, friends. 3, educational opportunities for children. 4, cost of living. 5, cultural life. 6, the beauty of it. 7, some other reason. 1 through 7, vote now.
That's subliminal, isn't it? Taking care of business.
Okay, family and friends very strong, and the beauty of it as well. Okay, next. How willing are you to get involved? This is the question that Dr. Belcher and Larry White offered. How willing are you to get involved in implementing the vision that we've been talking about tonight? 1, very willing. 2, somewhat willing. 3, not very willing. 4, I'm not interested at this time. 1, 2, 3, or 4, vote down. Be honest. Okay, very, very willing. Great. This is one question where we are taking your names down. We'll be coming around to your house very soon. Some are willing, not very willing. And very interested. Very few people say I'm interested this time. So it's a real, it's not surprising in a room like this, of so many full of leaders, that the commitment is this strong. So, but we will be talking to you about that level of interest. Next. How will you help implement the vision? 1, by staying informed. 2, by getting my employer to get involved. 3, by donating my time. 4, by promoting the vision. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Vote now. So this reveals a little bit about what strategies we might take for implementing vision. Donating my time is very strong. Promoting vision, terrific response, and staying informed is also very strong. So thank you. Next. Should county resources, this is a little tougher question when we start talking about taxes, right? Should county resources be used to implement the vision? Not necessarily through taxes, but whether or not there should be a delegation of money from county resources to implement the vision. 1, yes. 2, no. 3, maybe. Oh, 60% says yes. I hope the elected officials are taking notes of that. And 27% maybe, which is a fair answer as well. Okay? Next. Picture our region 20 years from now. What is the accomplishment we'll be most celebrating? 1, a better connected region through roads, broadband, and other infrastructure. 2, successful protection and enhancement of natural and cultural resources. 3, a vibrant economy with a broad range of quality jobs. 4, a high-performing public education system. 5, expanded access to health care and medical facilities. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Vote now.
6, all of the above.
You know they're all strong, but pick your top choice. Okay, it's pretty spread out. Not so optimistic about a high-performing public education system or expanding access to health care and medical facilities on the to-do list for leaders in the region, for sure. Okay? All right. We've talked a little bit about tonight about the contributions of many of the regions and other counties in the region. In many ways, because it's the most remote and least populated, because so much of this land is adjacent to the federal park and to the tribal lands, Graham County is in many ways sort of the soul of the region. I mean, I really think that's true. And if there is a person on our leadership council, the sort of represents the soul of our leadership council, who is the most passionate advocate for what he believes, is Commissioner Mike Edwards from Grant County. So, Mike, the charge that we issued to Mike, come on up, Mike, is we wanted someone to end the program with an altar call. You know? And we did think about having Just As I Am played over the speaker system now, but Mike is so good that you don't need to use it.
Good evening, everybody. I am a Baptist preacher. You think you're leaving? No, in all sincerity with this, it's been quite an evening this evening, and having the opportunity to stand back cleanup is kind of a tough job, you know, at every point that we have here. But I stand amazed at the number of folks here that I recognize, and I was sitting there with Vice Chief Blythe for a few minutes, and got to looking around, and some of the council members said, I see a whole bunch of people I don't know. But I think, you know, the fact that we're all here together for a common purpose shows a whole lot. Now, I've got some prepared notes right here, and I'm not typically one of those that uses these things. I was suggested that I just crumble them up and throw them over my left shoulder and get a laugh. I'm not going to do that. I think there's some very important things that we need to be thinking about as we move forward with this, and that's one of the key issues that I'd like to share with you for just a few moments tonight. And I know that you're getting tired, and some of you have a very long way to get home. This that's taking place tonight has been a culmination of a lot of hard work by a lot of folks. We know that. And we know there's been a lot of dedication and energy and time expended to arrive at this point. There have been a lot of things that have been bumps in the road along the way. There have been those challenges that are yet we find ourselves to find the answers to. But we have a start with that. So we must build on that we've done. I am a Western North Carolina kind of guy. If I had a bumper sticker that said, "The West is the best," it would be on my car. We are a very vibrant people. We're a very strong people. We have constitutions that may be a little bit irritating, but at the same token, we have that is a stick-it-to-itness that's going to get things done. Even if it takes a very, very long time to get communications from point A to point B with those that would listen to us. I'm proud to be a part of Western North Carolina. I'm proud to understand about the local governments that I've had a part in for the last 3.5 years. And in that of understanding the place of the Eastern Band, as I've been here a lot longer than any of the rest of us. And the idea of having that of a partnership is something that is very, very important. You know, it says here that I'm to go and to push that collaboration. I'm an educator, a retired educator, a Baptist minister, and I've been in politics, and they say it doesn't mix. But I believe it does. Because in that is in each and every one of us is a desire to see that we have about us to be preserved. I know that we have pristine mountains, we have that of pristine waters. We also have people who live in this area. We have those that find themselves living here for a very long time. It's important to have those things of quality, but we're to find a balance. And to do that, we have to sit at the same table to work those things out. And we need to understand also that whenever we're finding ourselves here in the very far west, how many of you have ever heard of the old idea of the state of Franklin? Would you raise your hand? Oh my goodness. It's not the secession from this state that I want to go and report. But we need to understand that we have a very unique situation where we live. Not only in the state of North Carolina, but in the southeastern United States, period. We're a very unique people. And you say, well, we're just like any other people. But we have a whole lot going for us, and I just don't think we realize that. I'm not going to stand here much longer, but I want to say to each and every one of you that are here tonight, and no matter where you're at and what capacity it is you find yourself, make sure that you understand that you have a neighbor. And you know, a lot of times we've heard, and I've heard it mentioned here a lot tonight, about county lines. We've heard about regional lines. I'm going to go ahead and take this opportunity, and I hope it's not taken long. But I'm a little bit disappointed with the aspect of going and having the new ideas for rural prosperity and dividing the state up into the same old divisions. There has to be some change. We need to find ourselves consolidated together as a region. And the only way to do that is to listen to one another and find the common ground that we need to stand upon. I'm also a COG guy, which means a Council of Government. We probably have the best, if not one of the best, in the whole state of North Carolina. We have that of a council of government that is active. It has different responsibilities. You who are elected officials, you know about it. I've met a lot of you. I've listened to a lot of you. Everything from transportation to that of development, all the different things from aging, and right down Graham County's been in need of that of the workforce development. You know, a lot of folks in this region have come to the aid of Graham County, as well as those that have been in Raleigh. And we appreciate every bit of that that's going on, but that's in Graham County. I'm going to stand here and tell you, if Cherokee County were to land a plant, if that be happening, or some industry that would make a difference for the region, you'd find me right in there digging for it. But one of the things I know as I stand here tonight is that those workers need to have a way to get there. They need to have a safe way and an efficient way to get from point A to point B. If Graham County it's not going to get a sure take, it's not going to get a 3M, it's not going to get the big plant. But what it will do is take that it has and to go and support it on a regional level that the people might live where they are in Graham County. And then I appreciate so much Mr. Drake. I've known him for a long while. I don't even notice that. He did our taxes when I had a business a long time ago. But you know, the entrepreneur spirit that's involved in that is important. And I appreciate Chancellor Belcher with everything that he's spoken from Western Carolina University. A lot of good folks came from there. I just thought I'd let you know that. It's our regional university, and I'm appreciative of that, and our community colleges and everything else that's involved. But you come into Graham County and you find this. My mom died of a stroke. They have that, it's called the golden hour. You all know about that? $12,000 to $15,000 helicopter rides. Part of the reason is we can't get there from here in time. That's a personal limit. But it happens more and more. And I believe it's going to continue to happen until we find ourselves in a position to connect the dots to make the differences in people's lives. With regard to that of the last mile, these old mountains that we love and we want to protect so much become a great challenge when it comes to the last mile for broadband connection. There are those in here that know how I stand about it. I live on Sweetwater Road. There's been a fiber cable on my driveway for 25 years, and not a nary soul has done anything about connecting us. Telecoms are stranger than politics. I've learned what I've learned by trying to get a difference made. And that all comes apart from people working together. You know, I'm a little tired, my passion's probably a little bit dim, but you blow a good breeze across me and watch me. And I believe that's what's going to happen to everybody in this region. We find ourselves with a plan. Now, one thing can happen. You can go and have this plan, put it up on the shelf somewhere in your county, and raise the proper corn next year. Or we can take it down, revisit it, have a plan, and move forward together with it. Now that's big talk, isn't it? That's rhetoric for a lot of folks. But I tell you, that's the only way that it's going to happen. We're going to have to get our heads together. We have all the resources that we need. Let me do this and I will be quiet. It's wealth and forgiveness we have in our region. First of all, we have that. We're blessed with all those pristine streams and the natural environment, the resources that we have, and a beautiful environment in which we live and share with the state, the nation, and the world. We are blessed in having WCU, our regional university. Chancellor, I want you to know I went up there to a meeting, the UP program. I didn't know where I was at. The place has grown tremendously since 1975. We are blessed to have our community colleges. We are blessed to have the Eastern Band of Cherokee, a nation that is thriving in our region and is a very vigorous economic driver in our region. We are blessed to have a highly effective and highly active COG, a Council of Government, and that of the Southwest Commission. We are blessed to have county governments, and I want to say this earnestly. We're blessed to have systems of county governments that are willing and able to gather about a table to discuss, plan, and do what they can do, not only to represent the interests of those various communities they represent, but for the region also. I wish you had the opportunity to sit in some of those meetings and hear the passion from these folks and the concern that they have. Lastly, and by no means least, are the people of our region. Those who daily advocate for positive change in our communities for the sake of families and all citizens of our region. Those who are willing to be at the table when discussion takes place that impacts where they choose to live. And I'm going ahead and say this, folks, I really appreciate y'all coming from Raleigh, but I've made that 732-mile round trip more than once. As an educator, going up there to even qualify for a grant for a 2-hour meeting, 732 miles. What in the world possesses somebody to do that? I want to tell you, it's important. It's really, really important. If you're not at the table, you don't eat. Now, right there, if you're not at the table, you don't eat. If you're not there with a smiling face, or just irritating the dog out of somebody, they're not going to know you're here. I appreciate everything that's been offered. We have been blessed in the fact that we have had this opportunity to sit back and take a look at ourselves. And one of the things I like about it the most is we've looked at ourselves in a mirror, and I believe we've looked at warts and all. And that's really important, is that we have this look, and I appreciate the words of the Chancellor with regard to where you're going to start. You have to have something out there, not the carrot at the end of the stick, but to have a vision and a dream. As an educator, I spend a goodly amount of time with graduations every year. And one of the things that I wanted to do, and that's why I pretty much ended up in the political realm, I wanted to see a day that we had a graduation where our kids would not be getting a suitcase to go somewhere else. We live in a region in the state of North Carolina that has some of the highest academic standings in our public schools, and yet they leave. We need to have a place for them to be and to stay. Graham County, and I'm not going to pour them out. I haven't poured them out yet, have I?
No.
Graham County is one of those, where the issue of land is very critical. 113,000 acres of land, I think we get $2.42 on it. Some of you have budgets for animal control that are larger than the budget of Graham County. 9,000 people are not a block of voters. And we don't have the leverage, just 9,000 people. But I'll guarantee you this. You get the like-minded people of the Western region of North Carolina together, in agreement, and believe me, there'll be warts and all. Then it's untelling what we're able to accomplish. Now that's where I stand. I find myself in a position now in Graham County. I love the people. The challenges aren't too happy a lot of times. But you know what? We work through them. And that's what it's going to be about. Transportation is critical. Transportation of getting around in our region is critical. And one of the things that I learned in my association with the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners, I had an opportunity to listen to a person. We're going to have to get beyond county lines. We're going to have to get beyond the issue of just state things. We're going to have to get to the place where we cross over state lines. East-west is great, but north and south will work too. Is that not right?
Yes.
So what it boils down to is that each and every one of us has a decision to make in this. I know you're busy. There are businessmen here, businesswomen. There are political leaders here. God bless your hearts. And we're all here for this purpose tonight. I want to thank the team that led this, Bill Tennell and company. I want to thank them for the hard work and the challenges that they faced. I would have run away. I want to thank the folks at the North Carolina Department of Transportation, Federal Highways Administration for provision of the funds to be able to get this done. They made provision of some great staff. I want to thank Pam Cook. She didn't pay me. I want to thank Christy Carter. I want to thank all those crews, all those that are here that made this possible. So I hope you go away from here as you go out the door to this wonderful place. A lot's been accomplished here I'm proud of it. I'm proud for it, as we say here. I'm proud for you. Here on the ball boundary. And I'm proud for us that we're going to have the ability to do the things that we need to do. So with that, one other thing I wanted to say is that tonight is not the finish of this. It's just not. If this has been done correctly, this will never finish. Because I'm a firm believer that you go and plan, you will implement, and here's something that's not done a whole lot. Revisit it. Revisit it in the things of value that you discover along the way. Professor told me that 20-something years ago. Go and discover the things that you didn't know before and apply them. And if we do that together, it's going to be great. It'll just have to be great. I appreciate every one of you. I wish you safe travel back home. And I hope you'll take this to heart, whatever you can do. And Ben Brown, I think the best answer was to promote this. You know, just go and just go ahead and promote it at every chance that you have. And not everybody's going to be happy. I've learned that in 3.5 years. But you know what? There's a solution. And in that, you work together to achieve it. Thank you for your time. And I hope that all of you will take this and carry it with you. Appreciate it.
Thanks to all on the program that worked with us. Thanks to everyone on the leadership committee and our client team all for all this time. Thanks especially to y'all. I mean, you said you came in here at 5:30, it's now 8:30, and most of you look as if you're still awake. And Bill Gibson, we promised to finish up in this amount of time, and by God, we're within 2 minutes. So don't steal the key pins. Okay? Not good for anything except what we did tonight. Safe driving home. And thank you very much.